Hello, and welcome to Beyond the Budget, the podcast from Legacy Financial Coaching. I'm Greg Carroll, your dedicated coach and legacy architect. Here, we go beyond balancing the numbers to explore the strategies, mindset shifts, and habits that lead to true financial freedom and lasting wealth. Together, we'll tackle financial stress, unlock more freedom in your finances, and empower you to create a legacy that inspires and impacts generations to come. If you're ready to move beyond just making ends meet and start building a brighter financial future, you're in the right place. Hey everyone, welcome back to Beyond the Budget. I'm so glad you're here. I'm thankful that you're on this journey with me, and I hope that you have found these episodes helpful and insightful and actionable. Feel free to hit the like and subscribe buttons to help me spread my message far and wide. Over these last few episodes, we've started to lay a solid foundation for your personal finances. We've discussed the importance of having a why in episode 2, the importance of having a plan for your money in episode 3, budgeting basics in episode 4, and then in episode 5, we talked about setting powerful financial goals. Because without a plan, you're just hoping that things work out. Today, we're talking about one of the most crucial steps in financial security: building an emergency fund. Because let's face it, life happens. Cars break down, medical bills pop up, and unexpected expenses can throw us off track. An emergency fund is your financial safety net. So let's break it down: what it is, why it's important, and how much you need, and where you should keep it. So first off, what is an emergency fund? So think of the emergency fund as your financial shock absorber. It's not for vacations, shopping sprees, or new gadgets. It's strictly for unplanned, necessary expenses. Here are some real life examples of when an emergency fund saves the day. Your car needs a new transmission. Boom, that's $2,500. A sudden medical bill. That could be thousands. A job loss. That buffer could help keep you afloat for several months. Or it's summertime and your AC goes out. This actually happened to us a couple years ago. Was it fun draining the emergency fund to actually pay for the AC? No, but it was much, much better than actually having to put it on credit and pay for it for years. So without an emergency fund, most people go into debt to cover those unexpected costs. And that's exactly what we want to avoid by having an emergency fund. Here's a statistic that might shock you. Nearly 60% of Americans can't cover a $1,000 emergency. And that number may be higher now. That means most people are just one unexpected bill away from financial stress, and worse, credit card or personal loan debt. An emergency fund does 3 powerful things. Number 1, it prepares you for the unexpected. Your budget helps you plan for your regular expenses. The emergency fund helps you be ready for those large expenses that you don't plan for. Number 2, it keeps you out of debt. No more swiping the credit card for emergencies. You have the funds set aside and you can pay cash. Number 3, it reduces stress. Knowing that you have money set aside gives you a peace of mind that most people don't experience. Emergencies are unpredictable, but your ability to handle them doesn't have to be. So, Greg, how much should I save? Well, here's the game plan. First off, if you're in debt, you want to start with building up $1,000. This is your starter emergency fund. This helps create a buffer between you and Murphy while you're paying off your consumer debt. Does it cover everything? No. Will it cover most things? Yes. The key here is to be gazelle intense to pay off your debt as quickly as possible so that you can build your fully funded emergency fund. Number 2, work towards 3 to 6 months of living expenses once you've paid off all your debt. So we have a couple of guidelines that I give my clients on determining whether 3 months or 6 months is enough. And you can save anywhere in between or even more if you want. You save 3 months of expenses if you're single with no dependents and you have a stable income. Or you're married and each of you has a stable income. It's kind of a guideline. 3 months of expenses is enough. 6 months of expenses would be saved if you're married with a single income. or you're a single parent, or your job is seasonal, or someone in your home is chronically ill, or you or your spouse is self employed, works on commission, or has a highly irregular income. The key, just start. Even if it's $100 today, it's better than nothing. So the next question is, where do you keep it? This is important because you want your emergency fund to be accessible, but not too accessible. So some of the best options I recommend are a high yield savings account or a separate savings account. You want to have at least 1 to 2 steps that you have to take in order to access the funds. Otherwise, it becomes too easy to use. High yield savings accounts earn anywhere between 4 and 5% in interest right now. So that's a good place to keep it. It earns a lot better interest than a standard savings account. You could also put it in a money market account or in a separate savings account. This is not mixed with your regular checking account so that you don't actually accidentally spend it. I'd even recommend having the savings account not tied to your checking account, just to put that additional step there in order to access the funds. But you want it accessible enough to where you can pay the bill when that emergency happens. You want to avoid investing it. The stock market and mutual funds are too volatile for emergency funds on a short-term basis. You also don't want to keep it in cash because you won't be earning any interest in that, and it's not secure and it loses value over time. So at least earn the interest on it in a savings account. The key is security and accessibility. You want to be able to pay that doctor or mechanic quickly with zero hassles and headaches. But you also don't want the money so easy to be available, so easy to get to that you're dipping into it for every little reason. I get a lot of questions from my clients about, oh, Greg, when's a good time to access the emergency fund? Well, sometimes people want to be able to use it for a vacation, or they want to use it to buy a new gadget. Many times when you've built up 3 to 6 months of expenses, this is probably more in your bank account than you've ever had at any one time. And so it can be very tempting to access it whenever you want. Let me encourage you to go back to episode 2 and revisit your why, because this is the reason behind why we do what we do and why personal finance and personal financial freedom is important for you. There are other savings buckets that you should use for things like vacations and replacement vehicles, home repairs, things like that. Those known expenses, right? The emergency funds should be reserved for, well, just true emergencies. I teach my clients to ask 3 questions before dipping into the emergency fund. Number 1, is it unexpected? Number 2, is it necessary? And number 3, is it urgent? If the answer is yes to all 3, then you have a real emergency. If the answer is no to any of these, then most likely it can wait, or there may be a way that you can cash flow the item. Recently, I had a student in one of my FPU, Financial Peace University classes, and she brought to the class that she had a pipe leak in her pool. So we went through those 3 questions. First of all, I was asking if it was damaging any property, and it wasn't. Yes, it was unexpected. Was it necessary? Well, it was the winter. And was it urgent? No. So the answer to 2 and 3 were both no. So we talked through it, and as a client, or not, I mean, not as a client, but as a FPU student, she discerned that, you know what, this is not necessary. It's not urgent, and so I should be able to cash flow this repair. And good thing was that the initial cost estimate she got was like a couple $1,000s. But because she waited and because she did her due diligence, she only ended up having to pay about $800 total. So sometimes it can seem like a real emergency, but you need to take the emotion out of it and ask those 3 questions and make sure that they're no before you withdraw from your emergency fund. So here's your challenge. Start your emergency fund today. Even if it's only $100, $500, or $1,000 just to get started. If you're in debt, start with a goal of $1,000 and set a goal to save that amount in the next 30 to 45 days. If you're out of debt and ready to build your fully funded emergency fund, set your savings goal. If you're married, discuss it with your spouse and come to an agreement on what that amount should be. And whether you're building your initial emergency fund or your fully funded emergency fund, make a budget. Tell every dollar where to go before the month begins. You can download the Every Dollar Budgeting app for free, or if you'd like a discount on the premium version, be sure to check out the link in the show notes. Well, that's a wrap for today. I've really enjoyed you hanging out with me today. I hope you'll join me in our next episode where we'll be tackling debt payoff strategies. If you've ever felt stuck under debt, I'll show you a way out. See you next time on Beyond the Budget. Thank you for tuning in to Beyond the Budget. I hope today's episode gave you practical steps and encouragement to build a stronger financial foundation. Remember, your legacy starts with the choices you make today. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who might benefit. And as always, if you're ready to take your finances to the next level, schedule a no-cost initial strategy session. The link is in the show notes. Until next time, stay focused, stay faithful, and let's build a legacy worth leaving.